Here in Australia for the Melbourne Grand Prix. The pressure is on for the 12 marbles competing in this race. All the hard work and training during the off season all leads up to this. Sparky sits on the pole position of the starting grid, being the champion of the qualifying a few days ago, with Peppers sitting in second and Aerofrog in third place, as well as Night Rivers in fourth. Pink Pearl is in fifth place, the overall champion from last season. Gold Piston got second last season. He is in sixth place, with Sea Turtles, the podium finisher of season 1, in ninth place. We'll have to see if these three marbles are able to come and have a comeback in this race, or if Sparky, Peppers, and Aerofrog can hold the lead. Here are the full qualifying results from a couple days ago, so you can see where your favorite marble is going to be starting in this race. Black Pirates having a disappointing start to this season so far, at least in the qualifying, getting last place. Hopefully he'll be able to redeem himself in this race and get on the right track for this season. You can see some of these VIP marbles watching the racers making some last minute preparations in the pits to make sure that they are on optimal performance for the first race of the Marble Circuits 2022. Sparky and Peppers sitting right next to each other on the front two spots of the starting grid, just glaring at each other after what happened in the qualifying. Sparky stealing the win at the last moment. Definitely a great move for Sparky, but Peppers isn't liking that so much. And now, for the start of the Melbourne Grand Prix. The marbles are ready, the lights are on, and away we go with Peppers taking the lead right at the beginning of the race. He is back in the lead after losing in the qualifying, but loses it to Gold Piston as they go of the booster for the first time, and now it is Big Dog in the lead. He started in 8th place and now is overtaken by Pink Pearl, and Sparky and Peppers are falling down the order. Big Dog trying to catch up to Pink Pearl with Night Rivers in third place as they go down the back straight. Pink Pearl, the previous champion, is trying to get a good start to this season. Could she have been holding back in the qualifying to trick the marbles into thinking that she has lost her edge as they go through the drag reduction zone? Gold Piston is now in third place trying to overtake Big Dog, who is still trying to catch up to Pink Pearl at this moment. He seems to be drafting Pink Pearl through these corners, and he takes first place in the third lap. Pink Pearl is trying to take it back, but it's surpassed by Gold Piston as they go up the booster. Gold Piston trying to catch up to Big Dog, who is extending himself from the rest of the field at this point and doing a good job at it. Night Rivers has now taken second place, being followed by Gold Piston and now Fast Q Pins, who is trying to overtake for the podium. But Gold Piston and Night Rivers are going to make that hard. Or so it seemed. Fast Q Pins has taken third and second place, with Big Dogs nowhere to be seen. Night Rivers now taking the second place. Great move by Night Rivers through the booster. We have been seeing a lot of these moves through the booster as he takes first place there. Big Dogs falling down to second. A lot of these moves through the booster have been very beneficial to these marbles, a new element of marble racing that we have not seen before. Gold Piston now back in third place, trying to catch up to Big Dog, as he does right there, trying to draft him, but it is not working out. Big Dog able to stay ahead, with Night Rivers extending himself from the rest of the field, and now Momonas is in fourth place, being followed by Pink Pearl in fifth place. Gold Piston trying to pass Big Dogs here, but isn't able to do it as they go up the booster. Gold Piston is able to pass Big Dogs, and Big Dogs takes second place and first place as the other two marbles take the drag reduction zone. A bad move by Night Rivers and Gold Piston. Big Dogs is now back in the lead. We are now starting the 7th lap as they go down the back straight. Gold Piston losing some ground on Night Rivers as he's trying to catch up to Big Dog, and he does right there, passing Big Dog, but Big Dog passes him back. A fight for the first place as Gold Piston has now taken second, trying to catch up to Big Dog. Big Dog seeing some fighting going on behind him, just trying to stay ahead of these two marbles to stay out of any trouble and make it as easy as possible for him to retain the lead. But Gold Piston is trying to make that hard as he gives a bump to the back on Big Dog. Big Dog getting a little bit of momentum from that. Night Rivers still in 3rd place, with Arrow Frog now in 4th place, catching back up after a not so good race so far, with Black Pirates in 5th place. He started in the last place on the starting grid, now in 5th place, trying to come and take 4th. A great move by Black Pirates, now is in 4th place. Big Dog still facing some pressure from Gold Piston up in the front, with Arrow Frog in 3rd place. And Gold Piston has a bump on the chicane there, and so does Arrow Frog. We've had an accident on the track. Arrow Frog is losing ground. The Arrow Frog fans are weeping. The tweets are tweeting at the downfall of Arrow Frog. Gold Piston able to retain his podium spot so far, dealing with the damage that he got from this accident, with Big Dog still in the lead, being followed by Night Rivers. Arrow Frog and Night Rivers pretty far ahead from Gold Piston, who is yet farther ahead from the rest of the field. Arrow Frog a whole 1.5 seconds in front of Gold Piston. This is an incredible lead. He has a bump off the wall there, and Night Rivers takes the lead from Big Dogs. Also take a look at Peppers and Sparky. Peppers is in last place, starting in 2nd place. He is definitely not having a good race, with Sparky down in 8th, right in front of Arrow Frog, but Arrow Frog is able to take it back, now in 7th place, dealing with the damage of this accident. Night Rivers trying to fend off Big Dogs, but is unsuccessful. Big Dogs is now in the lead, with Gold Piston and Black Pirates in the mix. Night Rivers trying to fend off Gold Piston, who doesn't seem to be too affected by the damage at this point, as he takes 2nd place and now was drafting Big Dogs, but has a bump off the wall there, now being drafted by Night Rivers. And now gets a boost of speed through the booster, hitting on Big Dogs, and Big Dogs is able to... What happened there? A shove from Night Rivers, pushing Gold Piston to the top of the chicane. Is that even legal? Night Rivers definitely benefiting from this move. Definitely a questionable move though, as he is now trying to catch up to Big Dog, with Gold Piston in 3rd place. Sparky is now back up in 4th place, fighting with Arrow Frog, who is back up in 5th place, trying to redeem himself in this race. We are on lap 14, 2 laps to go. Big Dog's in 1st place, Night Rivers in 2nd, with Gold Piston in 3rd place, drafting Night Rivers here as we start the 15th lap. And a bump from Night Rivers to the behind of Big Dogs as they go up the booster. Gold Piston now pressuring Night Rivers through the drag reduction zone, and another move from Night Rivers to Big Dogs onto the edge of the chicane. Some rough play from Night Rivers in this race. He really wants to take the overall win. With Gold Piston now taking 2nd place from Night Rivers on the start of the final lap. Big Dogs is in 1st place. Gold Piston is in 2nd. Night Rivers is in 3rd place. Arrow Frog is back up in 4th place. Big Dogs facing some pressure from Night Rivers. All he has to do is stay in the lead for the remainder of the lap, and he will be champion of the Melbourne Grand Prix. As he goes around the final couple of corners, he can see the fans, he can see the line, and Big Dogs will be your champion of the Melbourne Grand Prix, with Night Rivers in 2nd and Gold Piston is in 3rd place. A respectable finish for Arrow Frog in 4th place, being involved in that accident with Gold Piston. Both respectable finishes for those 2 marbles. What an amazing race. The fans are cheering, even the Arrow Frog fans, for the results of this race. Definitely an action-packed race, with the efforts that Big Dog put into the off-season paying off, being crowned champion.
Congratulations. You were very fast today and dominated the circuit. Yeah! That was amazing, guys. I couldn't have done it without you.
Big Dog's very excited for his first win in Marble Circuit's history. Definitely an amazing accomplishment, especially considering the fact that he started way back in 8th place. As we look at some of these replays here, the replay of the start of the race. Peppers taking the lead from Sparky in the 1st second of the race. Is there a rivalry developing between these 2 marbles? We'll have to wait and see. Some great moves here right in the 1st turn. Sparky losing a good 5 places right in the 1st turn of this race, with Gold Piston coming in at 1st. But ultimately it was Big Dog who came out in the lead. He did have trouble holding the lead for the entirety of the race, but he was able to keep it at the end. Knight Rivers putting on a good showing, as well as Gold Piston in this race, both getting on the podium. This is one of the few replays of Fast Q pins in this race. You didn't see much of him in this race, but he did have one or two good moves in the front of the field. Knight Rivers, though, battling Big Dog for the entirety of the race, as well as Gold Piston. All these three marbles were jostling for position the entire race. Gold Piston not being in the lead very much, with Big Dogs and Knight Rivers keeping that spot. And here's the accident with Gold Piston and Arrow Frog. Gold Piston getting stuck on the track, not even moving for a couple seconds. And then Arrow Frog comes in with too much speed, not able to slow down in time before he crashes into Gold Piston, making him fall down a lot of places. He was able to come back up and get 4th place, definitely an accomplishment, as well as for Gold Piston having this accident, gaining some damage in this race. Couple rough moves from Knight Rivers in this race, pushing Gold Piston as well as Big Dogs onto the top of the chicane to gain some speed, as well as to slow those two marbles down. Some rough play, but ultimately it did work out with him getting 2nd place. Here's a cool trackside view of the marbles, a view that only VIP marbles get to see, which is definitely a cool view. And here are the full results for the Melbourne Grand Prix. Big Dog's getting 25 points plus 1 point for having the fastest lap of this race. If you get the fastest lap of the race, you will be getting a bonus 1 point in this season. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for race 2 of the Marble Circuits 2022. And of course, congratulations to our 3 podium finishers. Big Dogs for getting 1st place, Knight Rivers in 2nd, and Gold Piston in 3rd place. I'm Jeremiah, signing off, and until next time, this has been
First 3 months free on a 12-month subscription.
As we enter the midway point of this season, the top marbles are setting themselves apart from the rest of the pack. I'm Jeremiah, and I'll be your host today here at the Monza Grand Prix. Gold Piston sits on pole position after a sprint to the line in the qualifying, Pink Pearl only losing out by 12 thousandths of a second. Can she make it up in this race? We'll have to wait and find out. Some of the marbles that have been doing well in this season were eliminated early on in the qualifying, being put in the back of the pack for the starting grid. Some of those marbles are including Knight Rivers and Arrow Frog, as well as Big Dogs and Loose Wheel. Some of the winners of the last couple races, they have not had a good qualifying for the start of this race. Gold Piston sits in 6th in the overall standings, being 16 points behind Arrow Frog, who is all the way down in 11th. And all the other marbles that have a chance of taking the overall lead are in the bottom of the field as well, the closest marble being Pink Pearl in 5th in the overall standings, starting in 2nd on the starting grid. Here you can see the full qualifying results. Sea Turtle sits in 3rd place with Black Pirates in 4th, another great finish for Black Pirates in the qualifying, his crew chief being the major one to thank. The marbles are set and ready to start rolling in race 4 here in Monza, all striving to be champion, but only one will be able to get that title. Here are the standings as of now. Arrow Frog sits in 1st, being followed by Big Dogs, Knight Rivers, Loose Wheel, and Pink Pearl, who will round off your top 5. And now, for race 4 of the Marble Circuits 2022. The lights are on, the marbles are ready, and we're off for the start of the Monza Grand Prix. Gold Piston in the lead, but hits the divider line of the drag reduction zone, falling down a lot of places, bringing Peppers to 1st place. And now Pink Pearl has taken the lead. As we go through this hairpin, Gold Piston is in 2nd, being followed by Black Pirates as we start the 1st lap. Pink Pearl has gotten 2 podiums so far this season and is still striving for a win. She got 5 podiums in Season 1, and 4 of those were race wins, so she has some catching up to do if she wants to do better than last season as we start the 2nd lap. The drag reduction zone has now been activated, allowing some marbles to pass other marbles if needed. Pink Pearl being pressured by Gold Piston in this lap, and a bump from Gold Piston from behind, but nothing yet. He is drafting Pink Pearl at this point, and Pink Pearl has some momentum there. Sparky has now taken 3rd place from Black Pirates as well as Big Dogs, who is now in 4th place as we go down this back straight, and he is pressuring Sparky and does take it, as well as Loose Wheel, who is now in 6th place. Pink Pearl is still extending her lead from the rest of the field at this point. The last couple races she has had the greatest number of gains from starting position. Both in race 2 and race 3 she gained 8 positions from where she started. But Gold Piston is a different story, not gaining or losing any places in the last 2 races, ending up in 6th in both races. And Gold Piston takes the drag reduction zone, and Big Dogs is now taking 2nd place as they go up the booster, and Gold Piston now takes it back. Pink Pearl is way up in the lead. She has no trouble with any of the other marbles behind her at this point. It's still possible for her to take the overall championship as she did last season, as Big Dogs takes 2nd place from Gold Piston there. The overall points leader, Arrow Frog, is down in last place. He actually lost a place from his overall starting position. He is having a terrible race. Big Dogs in 2nd place is doing a good job right now, starting in 8th place in the starting grid, having a good comeback at this point. Not so much for Night Rivers, who has only made it 1 spot, and of course for Arrow Frog, who is down in 12th. Loose Wheel is up there in 4th place. He was in the bottom of the standings as well, and he's doing good at this point. Gold Piston coming up behind Big Dogs at this point, but hard hit on the corner, and he loses some momentum as they go up the booster, and he's trying to catch back up to Big Dogs there, but Big Dogs is holding him off. Pink Pearl is nowhere to be seen, way up in the front. She's doing a tremendous job in this race so far. She really wants a win here in race 4. Black Pirates is down in 7th place. He is having some trouble in this race, but he does pass Loose Wheel there, and now he's up in 4th place. The time tower had just not updated quite yet as we start lap 7. Not much action up at the front. Pink Pearl still in 1st place, pretty far ahead of Big Dogs. She's using the thoughts of victory from last season as a motivation to keep on going and keep focused. With Big Dogs coming in at 2nd, wanting to be the 2nd marble to ever be crowned champion of the marble circuits, with Black Pirates in 3rd place. Trying to make a comeback in the standings. He's in 7th right now. Can he make that even better in this race? Gold Piston is falling down the order. Peppers is now pressuring him to go through these turns here, but nothing's happening. This track seems to cater well to marbles who want to get out in the front and stay in the front for the majority of the race. As of Pink Pearl at this point, we are in the 8th lap, halfway through the race, and no one has challenged Pink Pearl outside of the 1st lap. Big Dogs is trying to catch up to Pink Pearl and at least challenge her for the lead, but it's going to be very hard to do it as Pink Pearl is very far ahead. Black Pirates facing some pressure from Gold Piston there, but Gold Piston falls back and loses out to Peppers, who is now in 4th place. Arrow Frog has gotten out of last place, putting Fast 2 Pins in that spot, who seems to be there quite often in this series, which is not a very good place to be. Pink Pearl is a whole 5.5 seconds almost ahead of Big Dogs, who is in 2nd place. That is a commanding lead. Gold Piston has now taken 3rd place and now is trying to catch up to Big Dogs at this point as they go through these hairpins. Big Dog is still defending himself. We can see Pink Pearl passing the line way before any of the other marbles even get there. They still have a couple of turns to go by the time that she has already passed the line, and she has already gone up the booster. She is not even in the shot. As the rest of the marbles go through the booster, great move by Gold Piston there, going past Loose Wheel, taking back 3rd place, now setting his sights on Big Dogs. As you can see, Pink Pearl is 3 turns ahead from the rest of the field. Every lap, it's getting harder and harder for the rest of the marbles to catch up if they want to be able to dethrone her. They only have 5 more laps to do so. As they go down the back straight, Big Dogs takes the drag reduction zone as well as Loose Wheel, but Loose Wheel is able to come out and take the lead from Gold Piston, as Big Dogs has fallen down to 4th place, being followed by Black Pirates. As you can see, Arrow Frog and Fast Q Pins crossing that upper section of the track. As these rest of these marbles go through the bottom, they are very far behind, especially from Pink Pearl. Arrow Frog is definitely not winning this race. Loose Wheel has cut about a second off of Pink Pearl, now 4.5 seconds behind Pink Pearl. You can see them crossing each other right there. They can see each other, but they're so close yet so far. All the top 3 or 4 marbles are spaced pretty far apart. It's going to be hard for them to catch up to each other, and they only have a couple more laps to do so before Pink Pearl becomes champion. Loose Wheel has to do all he can to try to catch up to her at this point, but Pink Pearl is already coming up the booster as he is going down through the drag reduction zone. Gold Piston making some ground on Loose Wheel at this point, and he is neck and neck with Loose Wheel, but Loose Wheel is trying to hold him off, and he does right there. Gold Piston loses some momentum through these hairpins, and he is put back in his place with Loose Wheel, trying to do everything he can to conserve energy. Black Pirate's down in 4th. He is having a hard time in this race, being so spaced out from the rest of the marbles. Gold Piston takes the drag reduction zone there, and Black Pirates is able to catch up. He is on Gold Piston's tail, but Gold Piston is able to stay ahead. Big Dogs is down in 5th place, being followed by Night Rivers, who is up in 6th place, and Arrow Frog is up in 9th. He has gained a couple spots. Will he be able to catch up by the end of the race? Probably not. Will Night Rivers? Probably not. Loose Wheel catching up to Pink Pearl. Pink Pearl's lead has vanished, and Loose Wheel is catching up to her. We only have 2 more laps to go. Pink Pearl just needs to stay in the lead for the final couple of laps. She's done so good in this race. Don't screw up now. Gold Piston is also catching up to Loose Wheel. He's trying to come and take back first place that he started in. Pink Pearl about to cross the line to start the final lap. Pink Pearl is in first place, being followed by Loose Wheel, Gold Piston, Black Pirates, and Big Dog, who will round off your top 5 as we go up the booster. Gold Piston has taken 2nd place. Now he's setting his sights on Pink Pearl in the last lap. He's coming down to the wire. They are neck and neck. Pink Pearl is under a lot of stress. She only has half a lap to go, and she will be the champion of this race. And Gold Piston also wanting to take it, being the pole sitter of this race. He's trying to pass Pink Pearl as we go through the final corner, and it's going to be Pink Pearl who will be your champion of the Monza Grand Prix. With Gold Piston in 2nd, Loose Wheel is in 3rd place. Black Pirates gets 4th. Big Dogs comes in at 5th. A great race for Pink Pearl, dominating every lap, coming down to the wire in the final lap, but she was able to come out with a victory over Gold Piston.
We dominated the race in every lap. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, what a wonderful weekend. Everything worked out for us in this GP. Thank you all.
Pink Pearl is definitely relieved after a nail biter of a last lap. She's definitely celebrating now. Let's take a look at some of the best moments from this race. As you can see at the start of the race, Momona stalled, losing him a couple places right at the beginning of a race. Not the way you want to start this race. Peppers, one of the only other marbles besides Pink Pearl to hold the lead in this race, as well as Gold Piston briefly right there, but Pink Pearl was in the lead from then on out. Good move by Gold Piston there, overtaking Big Dogs as well as Loose Wheel through that straight. Also a good move. Pink Pearl though, way up there in the front for the entirety of the race, all the way up until the last lap, where she either made a mistake or the marbles finally caught up. Big Dogs repassing Gold Piston for 2nd place. Gold Piston and Big Dogs were definitely fighting for a lot of this race. Black Pirates also having a decent showing today, being up in 3rd place for some of the race, as well as 4th and 5th place. Fighting with Gold Piston and Big Dogs, as well as Loose Wheel, as we see right here. Loose Wheel putting some pressure on Black Pirates and eventually passing it. See Fast Q pins way down there, way behind, going through the drag reduction zone right as all these other marbles are way up in the track. Aero Frog having a terrible race today, being in last or near last for the most of the race. He did finally make it a couple spots, but nothing major. This will definitely shake up the overall standings. Black Pirates clearly heading in the drag reduction zone there, allowing some other marbles to pass him. It's a very hard thing for some of these marbles to stay out of the drag reduction zone. And now it's time to look at the full race results. Pink Pearl in the lead, Gold Piston is in second, with Loose Wheel in third place. Peppers is getting the bonus point for the fastest lap. Big Dogs being 10 seconds behind Pink Pearl, with Black Pirates only 4 seconds. That's a very large gap in between those two marbles. Definitely an exciting race for these fans who are definitely all glad to have came today. Pink Pearl has now gained first place in the overall standings, with Big Dogs in second, Loose Wheel is in third place. Aero Frog has fallen down all the way to 5th place, with Night Rivers in 6th, and Pink Pearl has taken the overall lead once again. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Fubeca store, which has apparel for all your favorite teams for the Marble Circuits 2022. We are now halfway through the Marble Circuits 2022. Only 4 more races to go. Who will be able to take the overall victory? Pink Pearl is in the lead at this point. Will Aero Frog be able to come and take the overall lead back from her? We'll have to wait and see. Congratulations to Pink Pearl for getting first place, Gold Piston in second, and Loose Wheel in third place. Congratulations especially to Pink Pearl, who dominated this race with style. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for Race 5 of the Marble Circuits 2022. I'm Jeremiah, signing off, and until next time, this has been Fubeca's Marble Runs. Good day, everyone.